This is a live instruction, and I must ask you quietly, but with all the seriousness you will ever hear from me, not to hurry it, not to trim it down into a technique, not to let it become something you show to another. If it should pass into hands unprepared for it, it may be better that the words had never been spoken. So I must ask you, until this has become your own daily bread, until you have demonstrated its fruit in the privacy of your own life, do not pass it on. Keep the purpose of it secret. Do not wear it on your sleeve. Thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Now then, if you will accept that, we can begin. This is one practice, only one, but it is the one that, done slowly, will change your lived experience. And I say slowly because if you hurry it, you miss it. You cannot make God hurry. You cannot make spirit sip through a straw of your impatience. The whole of this practice is consenting, little by little, to be governed from within. We are not trying to improve a human mind, nor are we decorating a human body with holy phrases. No, we are withdrawing the restless claim that we are the originators, the managers, the doers, and we are yielding, consenting to the inner government that already is. The kingdom of God is within you. Do you hear? Not projected out there where you must chase it. Within you, already functioning, awaiting recognition, awaiting a stillness that says, "Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth." I must set an expectation. This is not an inspiration you wait for on a good morning. This is a daily practice, and at first you may not enjoy it. You may not even approve of it. You may sit down to it and discover how rebellious your nerves are, how talkative your mind is, how much your body wants to wiggle itself back into being the master. That is fine. I have expected that of you. You must expect it of yourself. But do not relax the demand. You will take your seat each day, and you will be faithful when it is pleasant and faithful when it is not. There will be days when you will want to postpone it, and those are your best days to do it, for then you will discover whether you are governed by weather, mood, condition, or by the I within. Now, I will give you our anchor phrase, and I will give it to you as living manna, not as a slogan you paste on the refrigerator of your mind. Be still and know that I am God. You do not use it as a charm. You do not rattle it like a can of pebbles. You wait upon it. You let it come. Sometimes it arrives as a whisper. Sometimes it does not come at all in words, but in a felt hush that says more than words. You are not to force it. You are to be present to it. And when the words are given, you say them inwardly, slowly, without strain. Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and know that a better human is about to be manufactured. Not be still and know that a technique is working. No, be still and know that I am God, the I that is the life of you, the mind of you, the law of you. If you will honor this as private work, your altar behind closed doors, then it will protect you from the great temptation of religion, which is to turn holiness into display and power into phrase. We are not here to use God for a purpose. We are here to be used of God. Not my will, but thine be done. And so as you begin, remember, we are consenting to be governed from within. We are consenting to be addressed rather than to address. This is the foundation. Tomorrow we may speak of method. Today we establish the posture. Put up thy sword, no aggression, no forcing, no bargaining, and come quietly to the place where the inner eye governs and the person obeys. Be still and know that I am God. I am with you in this. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Only do not hurry. If you hurry it, you miss it. Now then, I must ask you to assume something, and to assume it not as a philosophy, but as the working basis of our meditation. For the purpose of this practice, assume there are two of you. I, your real self, the life of you, the doer, the governor. And then you, by your human name, the person, the instrument, the servant who learns to obey, if you try to make the person the governor, you will be engaged in a very old failure and it will wear you out. But if you can make this one shift, this quiet relocation of identity, you will discover that the yoke is easy and the burden is light. I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. Do you hear how the apostle put it? Not I, the person, but I, the life. Now ask simply, who is it that is aware of your body? Who is it that can look at a thought as if it were floating in space and say, not now? Who is it that can speak inwardly, be still, and expect to be obeyed? Is it the same restless mind that chatters? No. If the chattering mind could silence itself, it would have done so by now. There is another within you. Do not hurry past that. There is another within you. The world calls it spirit. The prophets called it I am. Moses heard it as I am that I am. I am not asking you to build a theology around it. I am asking you to consent to be it and to let the personal you become the witness and the instrument. This is not an attempt to make a better, brighter, more spiritual person. That is only polishing a mirror that still reflects the same face. No, this is the end of personal manufacture. This is the beginning of divine government. The person will be cared for, yes, the body will be fed and clothed and healed as need arises, but by a different order, an inner order. Subject unto God does not mean the person bullies the body in the name of God. Put up thy sword. It means the person ceases from personal will and consents to be governed. Consent, not conquest. Receptivity, not control. Not my will, but thine be done. I must be definite. From this moment in our work, you will speak from I, not from me. You will sit quietly and without strain. You will know yourself as the one who beholds the person. You may even inwardly say, I am here, the person is my instrument. Do not argue with that. Do not try to prove it to the mind. Accept it as the posture. The person is not bad, and the body is not an enemy. They are the temple, the student, the patient, and I within is the teacher, the physician, the law. The simple questions. Who is the one that can look? Who is the one that can speak the word without raising the voice? Who is the one that can wait? The person cannot wait. The person fidgets. I waits. I abides. And therefore, when you say slowly, be still and know that I am God, you are not pleading with a deity afar off. You are acknowledging the present governor, the indwelling order already at hand. The kingdom of God is within you. As you accept this, a new obedience begins. You will find that the body responds, but not to force, only to recognize authority without aggression, government without violence. It is a quiet dominion. And when mind and body become subject unto God in this way, you will see that decisions become fewer, strain dissolves, fear finds no landing place, because the person has moved into the role of beholder, and I has resumed its own work. Do not hurry. Sit long enough to know where you are seated. Once you can locate yourself as the one looking as I, you will be ready to begin the slow descent through the temple, speaking the one word that is never shouted and always heard. Be still and know that I am God. Before we so much as touch the body with a word, I must require of you the one condition upon which all our work rests. Put up thy sword. If you come to this practice to fix, to conquer, to domesticate your nerves, to make your heart behave, you have already missed the gate. That is aggression dressed in religious garments, and it will not open the inner door. Never undertake this meditation to do something to the body. Never undertake healing until you have established yourself in a complete state of non-aggression. Resist not evil, do you hear? Not because evil is to be welcomed, but because there is no power in it. The moment you begin to fight an appearance, you have made of it a power equal to God. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. What does put up thy sword mean here? It means you will not go to war with symptoms, moods, sensations, or thoughts. If the mind becomes noisy, you will not take a club to it. If the chest tightens, you will not bark orders at it. If a sadness floats through, you will not wrestle it into cheerfulness. No, you will sheathe the sword of personal will, and you will take your seat as presence, as I. You will be willing that the body be as it is for this moment, while you establish the witness, not indulgence, governance, not passivity, reverent non-aggression. Be still and know that I am God. If you speak that from a soldier's stance, it is an order. If you speak that from I, it is a benediction. Non-aggression has a feeling tone, and you must come to recognize it. It is a softening behind the eyes. It is the hands unclenching in the lap. It is the breath allowed to be exactly as it is without being managed. It is the refusal to evaluate how you are doing. It is the choice to let the body be your student, not your opponent, and to let the person be your instrument, not your master. From that seat above the brain, as we shall say later, you look gently. You do not stare. You speak quietly. You do not shout. You wait. You do not push. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. And as you wait, you will notice the urge to fix, to get a result. That urge is the old general reaching for the sword. Tell it, get thee behind me and return to I. I must warn you plainly, we do not use God. We are not recruiting the infinite to serve the finite agenda of a comfortable morning. Not my will, but thine be done. If you enter this work with a bargain, I will be still so long as you make the pain go, you have slipped back into idolatry. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. The things will be added, yes, but never as the price of your prayer. Our posture is obedience without condition, receptivity without demand. When that posture is true, the very nothingness of the claim is revealed, and there is nothing left to fight. Now then, from non-aggression, the word receives its authority. Without it, be still is an attempt at control, and you will exhaust yourself trying to hold the body in a pose of peace. With it, be still and know that I am God becomes the gentle government of I over the temple. The body does not yield to force. It yields to recognized sovereignty. If, as you begin, you feel yourself tightening to make something happen, stop, shade the sword again, reestablish the witness. Wait until the inner tone changes from effort to benediction. Then say it once, slowly, as if you were pouring oil on troubled waters. Be still and know that I am God. Only then, only from this ethical posture, may we proceed to the mechanics. First the witness, then the word, first the sheathed sword, then the gentle governance. In a moment we will begin to look down through the face and the throat, not to command, not to correct, but to allow the presence to extend its quiet dominion, part by part. And as we go, remember the covenant given to all who consent to be governed. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So let us not hurry and let us not fight. Let us be still and allow the government to be upon his shoulder until even the body knows its peace. Now then, before a word is spoken to the body, take your seat. I mean that quite literally. inwardly. Take your seat just above the brain, as if, for this period, you were resting at the crown and looking quietly down into the head, not in imagination that strains the eyes. No, without effort, as if the skull were a hollow temple and you, the governor, were seated upon the mercy seat witnessing. Be there. Let the brows soften. Let the eyes be windows, not searchlights. Do not try to see anything. Simply take your place and know I am here. The person is my instrument. I am the witness. I am the governor. I am the life. Remain sober. Remain awake. This is not hypnosis, not a dimming of faculties, not a clouding of reason. It is the exact opposite. It is sobriety without tension, clarity without strain. Watch and pray, the Master said. Watch so you are not dreaming. Pray so you are not doing. From here, above the brain, simply watch. If a thought passes, do not cuff it about. Allow it to pass and reestablish, I am here. If another passes, the same. No scolding, no grating. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Now, when you feel that quiet seat, settle even a little. Let the word be given once and only as it is given. Not loud, not forced. Let it come like a whisper from the governor to the temple. Be still and pause. Then, as if the whisper grew roots, let it say itself to you. Be still and know that I am God. Do not hurry. The phrase. Do not manufacture reverence. Reverence is already here because I am here. Say it once, slowly. Then be quiet again and continue to sit in the seat of witness. If the mind wanders, that is perfectly fine. Notice it from above and return to the seat without a frown and without a prize. We are not training a pet. We are consenting to government. Do not, at this stage, attempt to correct anything. Do not chase comfort. Do not measure progress. The only measure is, am I seated? Am I witnessing? Am I willing? That is all. And again, if you feel the itch to make something happen, smile at it and put up thy sword. Authority is not in the volume of the voice. Authority is in the reality of the seat. When the witness is true, the word carries its own weight. My word shall not return unto me void. It is not your push that gives it power. It is its own nature as presence. You may notice from this vantage that you can look down as though the head were a quiet chamber. You can notice the eyes as instruments, the tongue resting in the mouth, the jaw with its old habits of gripping. Do nothing to them. Merely behold them from above. And if the word arises again, let it be the same benediction. Be still, and know that I am God. Say it to no part in particular, yet let every part hear, and then be quiet again. If drowsiness comes, open the eyes a fraction, remain seated inwardly. If excitement comes, breathe once without management, and remain seated inwardly. The watchfulness and the prayer are one act. I witness, and God governs. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Let this head be that temple now. Let the earth of sensations keep silence, not by suppression, but by recognition of a higher throne. When the seat feels steady, not perfect, not dramatic, simply steady, then the word will ask to move. You will find yourself ready to look gently down through the face and the throat, not to control, but to permit the quiet dominion to extend. We will begin that descent next. For now, remain a moment longer where you are, above the brain, and let the authority be established without effort. Be still and know that I am God. I am here. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Now, from the seat above, begin to look down through the face as if this head were a spacious chamber, and you were quietly surveying its instruments. Do not peer, do not poke. Behold, the forehead let it be as it is while you watch. The eyes do not close them for effect, and do not hold them open for virtue. Simply be aware of the orbits, the lids resting on the globes, the tiny muscles around them that have learned to squint at life. Say nothing yet. Establish the gaze of eye upon these instruments. Then, when the word is given, let it come once, soft as oil. Be still. Pause. And if it is added to you, let the full measure come. Be still and know that I am God. Notice the micro releases, not the grand relaxations. The corners of the eyes soften by a hair's breadth. That is enough. Do not chase a perfect calm. If you notice you are trying to make the eyes behave, stop. That is effort. Soften the witness, not the muscles. Return to eye, and if for a moment you go blank, as if the awareness disappears into a fog, do not maintain the fog. Gently be present again, awake without strain. Watch and pray. Remember, watching is not staring. Praying is not pushing. Let the gaze move down to the cheeks, the jaws. The jaw has been your soldier, has braced against arguments and nights of planning. Do not pry it open. Do not order it shut. Look at it as a mother looks at a sleeping child, no command in the look, only the quiet authority of love. If the word comes, let it be simple, be still. Often that is enough. If the phrase continues, let it continue of its own accord. Be still and know that I am God. The hinge at the ears loosens the width of a breath. The tongue, yes, the tongue, resting now like a gentle animal on the floor of the mouth. Do not place it, do not pose it, let it find its own home when it hears the benediction. Now the mouth itself. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips, not in superstition, in governance. These lips have spoken quickly. Now they rest under a different government. Be still. And the teeth, upper against lower, do not measure the space. If you notice yourself measuring, you are back in the person managing the temple. Put up thy sword. Return to I. Let the word go before you. Come to the tongue more fully. It has tried to pray by forming many words. Now it learns to pray by yielding. The back of the tongue, where speech begins, hears the whisper, be still. Do you see? The body learns stillness not by force, but by receiving a quiet, continuous inner governance. If there is a swallow, let it come and go without comment. If there is a pooling of saliva, do not fix it. All earth keeps silence before him. And silence is not the absence of function, it is the absence of self-management. Now the throat, the gate where we so often swallow names and burdens, where we clear and clear as if to make room for the person to speak. We do not clear now, we do not cram now, we look tenderly down through the throat as through a soft corridor. If nothing can be seen, of course nothing can be seen. I am not asking for sight, but for government. Let the word be given there once, quietly. Be still. If it ends there, let it end there. If it widens into the knowing, receive it. Be still and know that I am God. Not your God of outcomes. God, I within. The muscles that raise the voice hear it. The chords that tremble at fear hear it. We are not fixing a tremor. We are withdrawing belief in its power and offering it to the only power. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. If at any point you feel yourself coaching the throat, smiling at it, coaxing it, no, that is still management. Soften again. The witness governs by being, not by doing. One more time, as if from the mercy seat above, be still, then quiet. Then simple presence, You may notice that from the throat there is a natural invitation downward, a tug toward the place where we habitually shoulder the world. Good. Do not hurry there. Let the throat finish hearing. The face, the tongue, the lips, the jaw, each has been addressed not by a superior officer, but by the indwelling I. When they are quiet enough to be taught, then the word is no longer a sound you make, it is a government you allow. In a moment we will look through the shoulders, where old identities hang like coats on hooks, the worker, the parent, the one who carries the tribe. But even now, know what is coming. The same quiet, continuous inner governance that began at the brow will extend itself without violence, and the promise holds as we descend. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Be still, and know that I am God. Now then, let the gaze that has finished with the throat rest gently upon the shoulders. These are the hangers on which the person has kept a lifetime of coats, duties, badges, the old uniforms of being the one who must carry and accomplish. Do not straighten them by command. Do not sag them by negligence. Simply behold both shoulders at once, as if they were two quiet doorways into the arms. Look into them as into hollow spaces, and let the word be given not as a push, but as a government. Be still, and if it widens, let it widen. Be still, and know that I am God. The government shall be upon his shoulder, not upon your strain, not upon the person's grit, upon his shoulder. Receive that from the shoulders, without hurry. Let the gaze, and it is more than a gaze. It is the awareness of I flow down both upper arms at once, as if you could look through bone and muscle as through a hollow reed. Do not search for sensation. Do not judge the symmetry. Behold them as instruments, not as ornaments, as servants, not as sovereigns. Be still. You may notice old reflexes lighting up an urge to flex, to adjust, to improve posture. No, put up thy sword. The arms are to be wrested from personal will. This is their Sabbath. This is their return from labor to love. In returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Come to the elbows, those hinges where so many plans turn. Pause there. Let them hear the benediction without being asked to prove it. Be still. That is all. Do not bend. Do not hold. Allow the hinge to be governed by an order deeper than habit. Then let the witness pass on, like a lantern moving down a corridor, into the forearms. Look down through them as if they were hollow and free of your history. If you feel a buzzing, a tingling, now here is where many of you will be tempted to declare, oh good, something is happening. Do not take that bait. That is the subtle ambition of the hands, to get results, to make a demonstration on their own authority. Refuse it without fighting it. Return to I. Be still and know that I am God. Now, the wrists. Such cleverness lives here. 1,000 micro-decisions per hour. Do not bind them. Do not set them. Witness. Be still. And the palms, those faces that have tried to bless by effort, have tried to heal by heat, have tried to grasp what was never meant to be held. Lay the inner gaze upon both palms at once, as if you were cupping them from within. Say at once, barely a whisper of will, be still. If a memory of prayer postures comes, let it pass. We are not arranging holiness, we are consenting to it. Let the lifting up of my hands be as the evening sacrifice, but let it be God's lifting, not yours. Now let each finger be included without cataloging thumbs, first fingers, long fingers, ring, little down to the very tips where doing ends in points. Do not wiggle them to reassure yourself that you are present. You are present. I am here. Let each fingertip here be still, and if there is a slight unwinding, fine. If there is none, fine. Your task is not to produce a sensation. It is to establish a government. The body is your student, yes. The arms and hands are your patient, yes. But you are not the healer person. I is the healer. I is the governor. The person sits in the role of beholder, and the instruments, feeling that they are seen without demand, yield. When the instruments of doing become still, personal will yields with them, and the deeper I begins to function unobstructed. This is the whole point of this descent. Do you notice how much of your past has rushed through these arms, the reach, the grasp, the shove, even the embrace tinged with a little ownership? Smile at that and let it go. If the thought arrives, now let me send peace through these hands to fix someone. Stop. Do not use God for a purpose. Seek first the kingdom within. Be still and know that I am God. When the hands are quiet under this government, they will be used. Yes, but not by you. They will be used as the natural overflow of I functioning as your life. Rest here a moment longer with both arms, elbows, wrists, palms, fingertips under the same quiet dominion. Nothing to achieve, nothing to display. The instruments of doing have laid down their tools. The governor is present. In a moment, we will descend to the chest and the heart, where fear and the belief in claim power often lodge as if they had some right to be there. They have none, but we will not fight them. We will only refuse to grant them power by taking our seat as I and letting the same inner government extend. For now, let the shoulders remember the promise. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Be still and know that I am God. Now let the gaze, the awareness of I, rest upon the chest as upon the doors of a sanctuary. Do not press the lungs to perform reverence. Do not count the breaths as if you were an accountant of holiness. Simply look down through the ribs as though the whole chest were a hollow temple, and be willing to feel the breath exactly as it is, without adding an inch and without subtracting an inch. That is non-aggression applied to breathing. We are not training an animal here. We are recognizing a government. Let the rise and the fall be as they are while you remain seated above. Be still. And if it widens, allow the word to complete itself. Be still and know that I am God. You will notice, perhaps, a tightness at the sternum, a flutter at the edges of the heart, a clutch at the upper ribs, or a weight as if some stone were lodged there from last year's grief. These are what we call claims upon your attention, claims upon your loyalty, claims to power. Do not label them enemy. Do not grant them authority. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God. Believe also in me. Do you hear? The command is not to beat back trouble with a staff. It is to withdraw belief in its power by resting as I. So look tenderly, without poking, and let the chest hear it once as benediction and not as order. Be still, and know that I am God. At first you may feel the impulse to take a long breath and prove that you are in control. Do not indulge that. Put up thy sword. We are not here to manage respiration. We are here to let respiration be governed. There is a great difference. Management is the person. Government is I. If a sigh rises of its own accord, let it rise and pass. If nothing moves but a thin thread of air, bless that thread without opinion. The heart and lungs are not your servants. They are God's instruments under God's government when you have ceased trying to drive them. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. The world gives relief by manipulation. I gives peace by presence. Now come nearer to the heart, not to handle it, not to fix it, but to behold it as the altar fire that has always been watched over, even in your sleep. If a tremor of fear shows itself, do not chase it down the corridors. Fear is a movement. It is wind on the surface, of water. You will not still the lake by slapping it. Stand upon the shore as I, and say once, no more than once, with the weight of your being behind it, peace, be still, and then let the deeper anchor drop. Be still, and know that I am God. Perfect love casteth out. Fear not your perfect love, manufacturing an emotion, but love, I within, revealing that fear has no authority here. The claim remains a claim, nothing more, until you seal it with belief. Refuse the seal. If an ache presents itself beneath the ribs, do not measure it, do not assign it a name from the world's pharmacy. Names are tickets that admit belief. We are practicing anonymity in the face of appearances. No name, but I am. I am the Lord that healeth thee. But listen, not I am the Lord that fights your pain. I am the Lord which being all leaves no second power to oppose. Therefore we refuse to arm an appearance with your attention. We rest as the eye that governs, and we allow the ache to be a movement in the temple courts while the throne remains untouched. And as you remain, you will feel, perhaps faintly, the chest begin to take orders from the silence rather than the mind. Return for a moment to the rhythm of breath as it is, without adding, without subtracting. Keep the seat. If the mind whispers, hurry, descend, gently answer, not yet. I must not hurry. The word must sink beneath thought like rain through dry ground. Be still, and know not as an idea, but as a state that I am God. The knowledge is not a sentence. It is the arrival of government. Wait for that arrival, even if only a hint of it, and then let us go on. Now feel how the breath meets the lower edge of the ribs, where the diaphragm lives like a quiet bellows, and beneath that the solar plexus, the old switchboard of human management anxiety's office. As some of you have discovered at 3 a.m, we will not fight that office. We will decommission it by returning its assignments to I. Take no thought for your life, not as a reckless slogan, but as a transfer of government. In a moment, we shall descend there. For now, let the chest, the heart, the breath remain under this quiet dominion. Refuse power to every claim, without an argument, without a sermon, without a sword. Only this: be still and know that I am God. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. And with that assurance, the path opens of itself into the diaphragm and the solar plexus, where personal management ends and inner governance begins. Now then, let the gaze, the awareness of I, continue a hand's breadth below the lower ribs to the dome of the diaphragm, and just beneath to the solar plexus, the old switchboard of vigilance, where the person has spent years holding life together by feel. Do not prod this place. Do not tighten here to make a show of strength, and do not sag here to imitate surrender. Only behold it, as if the midsection were a quiet chamber that has been overlit by worry, overstaffed by night clerks. Look in and say once, without pressure, be still, and if it widens to you, let it widen. Be still and know that I am God. Here is where you will most acutely discover the impulse to manage safety, to hold the world and your own breath like reins. Be honest about that impulse. Do not accuse it. Do not enlist it. Put up thy sword. We are not going to pull the reins. We are going to lay them down. Bring this simple question like a key to a locked office. What if I am not the one who sustains this breath? Do not answer with words. Let the question open the door, and then rest. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. Not you with a clenched midriff. He shall sustain thee. Do not fall into the ditch on either side of the road. One ditch is passivity, a collapse of attention, a going limp in the name of spirituality. The other is management hypervigilance, baptized as prayer. We choose neither. We remain awake in I, and we yield the reins to a higher order. That is surrender. It is not resignation. It is recognition. Take no thought for your life, not as negligence, but as obedience to government. Now place the witness gently over the dome of the diaphragm. You will feel, if you do not hurry, the subtle habit of pushing or pulling the breath. Do nothing to stop it. Do nothing to extend it. Behold it from the seat and say once, with the weight of being and the softness of oil, be still and know that I am God. Let the solar plexus hear this not as a command to go slack, but as the arrival of order. The old office can close without a struggle. Ledger shut, lights out, night clerk relieved. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. The world gives peace by installing better locks. I gives peace by revealing there was never another power at the door. If there is a flutter, a knot, a heat, do not badge it as good or bad. Do not fix it. Stand as I, and refuse the credential of fear. Get thee behind me, not hurled at a symptom, but whispered to the belief that your vigilance sustains your life. Ask it again, quietly. What if I am not the one who sustains this breath? Then wait. Do not fill the waiting with techniques. If the breath shallows, good. If it lengthens of its own accord, good. Neither is your doing. Your doing is to remain the beholder and let governance appear. You will notice, perhaps, a soft yielding just beneath the breastbone, as if a hand you didn't know you were making has unclenched. That is the taste, not the end. The taste of inner government arriving where personal management has always lived. Stillness in the solar plexus is the end of personal management and the beginning of inner governance. If the mind protests, but if I let go, who will keep me alive? Answer only with scripture, not as a charm, but as truth recognized. Underneath are the everlasting arms. Feel that, not as poetry, but as architecture. The temple does not hold up its own roof. It rests upon its foundation. You are not collapsing the temple. You are ceasing to pretend you are the foundation. Be still, and know that I am God. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Linger here without hurry until the impulse to manage diminishes by a degree, until the midsection hears a new tone of authority that is not force. When that tone is real, you will find a natural invitation to continue the descent of governance into support itself. The pillar of the temple is next. We shall look down the spine and across the back the seat of endurance, the rack where old burdens are stored, and there you will learn by demonstration that the sustainer is the I within, and the burden drops when the I becomes the sustainer. For now, remain a moment longer, silent and sure, and let the breath be kept by the one who gives it. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Be still and know that I am God. Now then, let the awareness of I turn to the pillar itself. From the seat above, look down along the spine as if you were gazing through the hollow of a masked crown to base without seeing with eyes, without searching for vertebrae, only consenting to behold the whole column at once. Begin at the back of the neck, yes, the place that cranes toward tomorrow and stiffens against yesterday. Do not straighten it by order. Do not drop it by negligence. Behold it, and let the word arrive with the weight of being and the slowness of oil. Be still and know I am God. Pause there. Let it sink. Let that same benediction widen over the shoulder blades and the breadth of the upper back, the shelf where the person has set the family, the duty, the tribe, the years, the calendar, the clock. Do not rebuke the one who carried. Simply stop believing you are that one. The person has done a lifetime of lifting. I sustains life. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Not a nap to return to toil, Rest as a change of government. Place the awareness gently across the upper back and say it once more without making a sound of effort. Be still and know I am God. As you remain, notice the old reflex to pull the shoulders back, to hold yourself up for the world's inspection. Do not do it. Put up thy sword. There is a support here that does not require display. Invite, without words, the sense of being upheld from within, as if the column is leaned, not on furniture, not on posture, but upon the indwelling I. Underneath are the everlasting arms. Let that be architecture, not poetry. You will feel, perhaps, a fine unwinding between the shoulder blades, a small surrender where the coat of responsibility is hung. Be still and know I am God. Now, slowly, let the gaze pass down the length of the thoracic spine, into the mid-back, the place of sighs you did not permit, the ledger of postponed rest. We are not opening the ledger to read it. We are closing the office. Behold it as a corridor that hears the throne room's decree. Say it once. Be still. Then let it complete itself without your push. And know I am God. Not Joel is strong, not the person is brave. I am God, the sustainer in the life. Come further to the lumbar, the lower back, the hinge of labor, the old fulcrum of lifting what was never yours to lift. Do not brace. Do not test. Behold. If a tightness complains, do not argue. Deny it power by non-cooperation. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall, not you shall. As that line moves through you, allow the lower back to hear a government different from will. Be still and know I am God. Let the notion of my back soften into the temple's pillar. The burden drops when the I becomes the sustainer, because there is no one left to carry it. You are no longer the bearer. You are the beholder, through whom I bears all. At this point, without dramatizing it, there may arise, not always in words, sometimes only as a felt nearness, the quiet assurance, I am with you. Do not clutch at it. Do not turn it into a triumph. Receive it as you would receive a hand laid lightly upon the back by a beloved. Lo, I am with you always. The presence that supports is the presence that governs. And as the back becomes still under this government, the person's lifelong stance of carrying begins to dissolve like mist at sunrise. Remain a moment with the whole back, neck to sacrum under the same benediction. Nothing to fix, nothing to prove, only the pillar consenting to be sustained from within. If a thought intrudes, what about tomorrow? What about the bills? What about my people? Answer from the seat without a quarrel. Be still and know I am God. The knowing is the government is the support. Allow the last remnant of personal scaffolding to be seen for what it is useful once, but now unnecessary where the true foundation is known. And now, as the pillar steadies in this inner rest, you will feel the natural urge to carry the same government downward into the base, hips, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, the very foundation by which you meet the earth and step into what you have called the future. We will not hurry there. The same rule holds. No aggression, no display, only consent to be governed. In a moment we shall descend to the hips and legs, where movement, standing, and the old fear of the future give way to the quiet dominion of I. For now, one more time, as the spine receives it, not as a slogan, but as its strength. Be still and know I am God. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Now, without hurry, let the same inner gaze descend to the hips, to the great hinges of movement, where the person has so often launched toward tomorrow. Do not square them. Do not slump them. Simply behold both hips at once, as if they were two broad gates at the base of the temple. Let awareness fill the bowl of the pelvis as water fills a quiet basin, no splash, no stir, just presence. And from the seat above, give the word once, not as a push, but as a government. Be still. If it widens to you, let it widen. Be still and know that I am God. These are the gates of going. They will rest when they hear the sovereign. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Not paralysis, governed readiness. Allow the gaze to flow down through both thighs at once, as through hollow columns. Do not measure symmetry. Do not compare left to right. Put up thy sword. We are not judging. We are governing by quiet presence. Behold the fronts, the backs, the strong muscles that have hurried you into the next hour and the next answer. Speak not to the muscle alone, but to the movement that lives in it. Be still, and know that I am God. The legs have been the person's servants. Let them now become the Lord's instruments. Subject unto God, that is the order of this temple. Every part included, nothing rejected, nothing worshiped. Come to the knees, the hinges, where haste has bent and fear has locked. We are not oiling a machine. We are acknowledging a government. Look into both knees as if they were clear little rooms, and let the benediction rest there. Be still, no more than that. If they would prove themselves by shifting, refuse the test without scolding, return to I. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, not by anxiety's calendar, not by the mind's map, ordered by the Lord. Let the witness pass down into the calves, the quiet engines at the back of your going. Do nothing with the sensation, whether tight or slack. Only behold them as instruments under new management. Management? No. Under government. Say it once, with oil and weight. Be still, and know that I am God. Then include the shins, the ankle bones, both ankles together, the little governors of balance that try to correct every wobble before it is seen. Relieve them of that vigilance. Put up thy sword. Balance is not a product of fret. It is a fruit of government. Be still. Now the soles of the feet, the very places that meet the earth, do not curl the toes to feel alive. Do not spread them like a practice. Behold the whole breadth of both soles as if you were standing within them. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Let that be literal now. The lamp is not the flexing of toes. It is the presence that directs your next step when the feet are subject unto God. Whisper once more, not from the throat, from the seat, be still. And the toes, all of them at once, not counted like beads, but gathered like children under one quiet hand, be still and know that I am God. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace. Do you understand? The beauty is not decoration. It is government. Peace preached by feet is simply feet that move only when moved by I. Remain now with the whole lower body, hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, soles, toes under one gentle dominion. Nothing denied, nothing dramatized. The foundation rests. The legs have ceased running toward tomorrow because tomorrow has no jurisdiction here. Take no thought for the morrow. Not laziness, obedience to inner government. Feel, if you do not hurry, the quiet weight of the body settling not into the chair, but into I. Then include the whole, from crown to soles, head to foot, one temple, one owner, one government. Say it once, and then say no more. Be still, and know that I am God. Let the silence last longer than the speech. Let the word finish its own work. Do not reach now to add anything. Do not hunt for a sign. Stay. When the temple is wholly subject, face, throat, shoulders, arms, chest, midsection, back, hips, legs, feet, something almost imperceptible begins to happen. not from you to the body, but from within the temple to you. Instead of you addressing, there is a sense of being addressed. Do not strain to hear words. It may be only a pressure of nearness, a warmth without temperature, a sentence that is more intention than syllable. I am with you. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. That is the turning of the practice. Technique is complete when foundation rests. Government appears as guidance. Remain a little while, not managing the stillness, not decorating it, only consenting to be governed, head to toe, by the eye that is God within. Now then, if you have not hurried, and you must not, you will notice a subtle reversal, like a tide changing in the dark. At first, you spoke the word, be still, and it was work, good work, necessary work. But with repetition, with non-aggression, with the whole temple quietly under one government, there comes a point at which you are no longer producing the word is producing you. Instead of you addressing, there is that fine sense of being addressed. It is quieter than thought, simpler than emotion, less dramatic than any vision, and yet it carries an authority for which there is no human equivalent. My sheep hear my voice, not as ears hear a sound, but as being recognizes its source. How do you know it? You know it because it does not argue, and it does not rush. It does not shout over your mind. It renders the mind unnecessary for a moment. It does not intoxicate. It sobers. It does not ask you to prove anything. It constitutes you quiet. A sentence may form, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, or fear not, it is I. Or nothing at all may form, only a weight of presence that bends you, without effort, into consent. Do not be clever here. Do not manufacture the assurances. You cannot play ventriloquist with God and call it guidance. You cannot put words into the silence and then bow to your own echo. Let it come if it comes. If it does not remain still, it is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. I must caution you, when this first arrives, do not make an announcement. Keep the purpose of it secret. You have not attained anything. You have consented to governance, and that is different. Pride will try to lease the event for public use. Reject the lease. Put up thy sword. If you advertise an inner whisper, you will be tempted to repeat it on demand, and then you will be back, not in presence, but in performance. The sign that this is real is not that you can tell it. The sign is that you are quieter after than before, less eager to act from yourself, more able to let the body remain subject unto God without your policing it. Why must we do this so slowly? Because only slowness allows the personal self to run out of inventions. Haste is the last disguise of management. Haste constantly inserts a finger into the mechanism to keep it moving by will. When you go slowly, truly slow, oil slow, the fingers withdraw, the mind exhausts its suggestions, the habits have time to present themselves, and finding no argument and no audience to lie down. In this mercy of slowness, presence steps forward without fanfare, and you realize that you were never waiting for God. God had been waiting for you to stop. Now, listen carefully. This is the point at which technique must bow. The goal is not a better way of saying be still. The goal is the moment the inner presence begins to address and govern you. From here, the question that matters is practical. What changes when you rise from the chair? Everything but quietly. The day is the same calendar. The government is different. You will notice, for example, that a sentence is given before a reply, or no sentence is given, and you are silent, and you find that silence heals more than speech. Take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you, in the store. The feet wait a breath longer, and then move without crossing themselves in hurry. At the desk, the hands rest a heartbeat before they type, and what is written is cleaner of fear. A claim appears, a pain, a report, a person's agitation, and instead of rallying your verses to fight it, you refuse to grant it power by resting an eye, and without drama, the edge of that claim blunts. That is guidance. That is governance. Sometimes, in the middle of the day, there will come the same inward nearness from the morning. No spectacle, only a gentle insistence. Be still. Not from you to the body now, but from I to you. Obey at once, even if outwardly you only pause for 10 seconds with eyes open in a hallway. 10 seconds under government is a stronger act than 10 minutes of anxious doing. This is how the practice crosses the border into life, not by will, but by yielded responsiveness to the inner address. And the more you consent in small matters, the held tongue, the unhurried step, the refusal to argue with appearances, the more you will find that presence meets you before you call. Before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Remain very simple with this. Keep the pace slow. Keep the experience private. We will speak next of demonstration, not inspiration, how this quiet government begins to show itself as order and dominion in your affairs. For now, accept this as the threshold. From you addressing to being addressed. From managing your peace to being kept in peace. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Be still and know that I am God. And when you rise, do not hurry. Let the one who spoke you carry you into the next hour. Now then, I must say this as plainly as I know how. You will not be changed by hearing this. You will be changed only as it becomes your constituted consciousness. Knowing the words be still and know I am God is letter. Beautiful letter, necessary letter, but letter. Unless you practice the truth, until it governs you, without your coaxing, you will never get beyond inspiration. And inspiration is a pleasant breeze. Demonstration is wind in the sails. By their fruits ye shall know them. Not by their quotations, not by their meetings, by their fruits. We are after fruit. Do not despise your small proofs. Do not expect a cathedral before you prove one stone. The Wrights were not given a transatlantic voyage. They were given a short lift, a few seconds in which gravity learned it had no absolute power there. That first lifting proved the principle. So it is here. The first time you meet a small irritation without hurry and see it dissolve without argument, that is your flight. The first time a petty ache finds no believer in you and fades while you remain a beholder, that is your flight. The first time a mood storms at the window and you do not open the door and it passes because there is no host, that is your flight. From that moment, you cannot be talked out of principle. Oh, now I know. You can't fool me now. And tomorrow you will go a little farther. How do you gain these proofs? Very simply, very quietly, by returning during the day for short periods, 5 minutes will do, to take your seat and descend swiftly. At the desk, stop, place the awareness above the brain, establish the witness, and let the word go down through face, throat, shoulders, chest, solar plexus, back, hips, legs, feet. Do not polish it. Do not perform it. Do it as a sovereign act. Be still and know I am God. In the car parked, not rolling, close your eyes for 3 minutes and let the same government reassert itself. Before answering a difficult call, go to the washroom if you must. Stand in a stall and descend once, head to foot, under one command. Before sleep, make a final descent, no analysis, no petitions, only government. And if you wake at 3 a.m. with thoughts marching, refuse to command the marchers away. Put up thy sword. Take the seat and let the government be known in silence. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Now you will be tempted when a headline screams, when a report arrives, when a pain knocks, to marshal your arguments and swing your verses like weapons. Do not do it. There is no power in form or effect. All power is in the I that I am. These are claims, appearances, news, moods, symptoms, reports. We do not fight them. We do not fear them. We withdraw belief in their power by returning to I. Get thee behind me, not at a person and not at a body part, but at the suggestion that there is another power here. When you rest as I without display, without mental fists, you will notice the edge of the claim blunts. Sometimes it vanishes. Sometimes it goes on for a while without audience. In either case, you have refused to be managed by it. That refusal is dominion. That is demonstration. I know you think, but what if the ache remains? Have I failed? No. If you did not make war and you did not worship it with fear, you have already demonstrated a higher jurisdiction. The first result is almost always inner quiet, where there used to be panic, order, where there used to be scramble. Outwardly, adjustments follow in their own way and time. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Keep your mind stayed not by clinging, but by returning. Several times a day, 5 minutes, oil slow, thrown steady. And in between many 10-second obediences, the day becomes threaded with small surrenders, and these small surrenders become a habit. Habit becomes character. Character becomes government. Keep it private. Do not announce your 5-minute turns as if they were trophies. All worship is wrong when done in public. It does not carry the weight of spiritual sincerity. Let this be between you and the Father. Thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. The open reward is not applause, it is order where there was disorder. Quiet authority where there was noise. Steps ordered by the Lord where there was pacing. This is how stillness becomes lived. Dominion in the day, not by a single rapture, but by repeated government, affirmed and affirmed again until the presence keeps you, even while the hands type and the feet walk and the voice speaks when it is given. In a moment, I will give you a simple, strict, prescription, time-bound, private, faithful for 3 to 4 months. That is the frame that makes a practice become a life. For now, promise yourself this. Today and tomorrow and the day after, you will return briefly, secretly, slowly, and you will let I govern you, not just in a chair, but in traffic, in hallways, before sleep, upon waking. Demonstration will meet you there. Be still and know that I am God. Now then, this is the part you must write in your calendar, not as an appointment with an idea, but as a covenant with the I that governs, for not less than 3 to 4 months. You hear me? Not less. Set a daily rule and keep it, whether you feel like it or not. Do not measure by moods. Moods are weather. Government is climate. You will measure only by faithfulness and by the quiet increase of inner government, the simple fact that the body yields more readily, the mind obeys more quickly, the day reorders itself with less push from you. That is the measure. Your minimum is this: 1 longer sitting each day, when possible, at the same hour, in the same chair, with the same secrecy. If you can do close to an hour, do close to an hour. If your present life will only bear 40 minutes, do 40 faithfully and add the remainder in short returns. Never make it once in a while. Once in a while is vanity. It congratulates itself for a rare feat and remains unchanged. Faithfulness is humility. It returns and returns until the returning itself becomes peace. In addition to the long sitting, you will take 3 to 5 short returns. 5 minutes is enough. Morning, midday, late afternoon, evening if you can. And in between many 10-second obediences, when the address arises, be still You do not need a room for that. You need consent. Keep it private. Keep the purpose of it secret. Do not post it. Do not announce that you have begun a practice. Do not count days aloud as if sobriety depended on applause. Thy Father, which seeth in secret himself, shall reward thee openly. The open reward will be government, not praise. And I must ask you this as plainly as anything I have said. Do not teach this practice to anyone until it has mastered you. I say it because, mishandled, it becomes control. Rightly held, it becomes receptivity. Put up thy sword. You are not to use God for a purpose. You are to be used by God for whatever purpose I determines. If this gets into the wrong hands, it becomes performance. Better, then, that it had not been given. Keep it close. Let it ripen in you until it governs you without your help. You will meet phases. At first, boredom. It will not be boredom. It will be the person realizing he cannot be entertained here. Let him complain. Do not fix it. Sit and be governed. Then restlessness. A body that has trained itself to move in order to matter will twitch to prove it is alive. Do not slap its hands. Do not indulge it. Behold and say once, with oil and authority, be still. And self-judgment will visit, I am no good at this. Yesterday was better. I have lost it. That is the personal voice attempting to reclaim jurisdiction by guilt. Refuse the jurisdiction. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. Return to the seat above the brain. Reestablish the witness before the word, and let the word go down face to feet under one government. These are not signs of failure. These are the last activities of a regime about to end. If a day is lost, do not make a drama and consecrate the failure with sorrow. Begin again that hour. Begin again that evening. Begin again at dawn. The principle has not altered. God is not tired because you forgot. His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Your part is to come under government, not to invent merit. And as the days accumulate, not counted by you, but kept in the secret, there will be, at some point and with no trumpet, a gentle descending of quiet that does not have to be made. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, will begin to keep you. You will find, without asking it to happen, that the body becomes naturally subject unto God, eyes quieter, throat easier, shoulders at rest without being told, breath low and free, the solar plexus without a fist, the back sustained, the legs moving when moved, feet steady under light. This is not an act you perform. This is presence governing you, because you have consented for many days. I will add only this. Keep your promise through the calendar. 3 months is the least. 4 months is safe. When the peace has descended, you will not need to ask if it has. You will discover you are being kept. Then, and only then, consider whether you are to speak of it and to whom. In the meantime, we close where we began, not as a phrase, as government. Be still and know, I am God. I am with you.